The morning sun cast golden hues over the Los Angeles private terminal, where the ultra-wealthy moved with quiet confidence. Polished marble floors gleamed under soft lighting, while whispers of million-dollar deals filled the air. Among the executives and celebrities waiting to board their flights, Olivia Carter stood poised, exuding authority with effortless grace. Dressed in an elegant charcoal suit and understated jewelry, Olivia was no stranger to these spaces. As the founder and CEO of Carter Luxe Enterprises, she had built an empire in the luxury goods market, earning respect across continents. Yet, despite her success, she knew all too well that her presence in exclusive circles still raised unspoken questions. She approached the check-in counter, where an attendant offered her a polite but hesitant smile. "Good morning, ma'am. How may I assist you?" "I'm here for the Carter flight to London," Olivia replied, her tone even. The attendant's eyes flickered to her screen, then back to Olivia. "Of course, Ms. Carter. Everything is in order. Your pilot will meet you shortly." Olivia stepped aside, glancing out at the tarmac. Her Gulfstream G700 sat gleaming under the sun, a testament to the years of relentless work that had brought her here. This flight was critical. She was en route to finalize a deal that would expand her business into the European luxury market. As she settled into the VIP lounge, she observed the quiet, calculated movements of other travelers. Business moguls sipped espressos while murmuring negotiations into headsets. A well-known actress adjusted her designer sunglasses, pretending not to notice the paparazzi lingering beyond the glass windows. The scent of freshly brewed coffee and polished leather filled the air. From across the terminal, Captain Ryan Tate approached. Tall, square-jawed, and exuding confidence, he looked every bit the seasoned pilot. But as he neared Olivia, something shifted in his expression, a flicker of skepticism, a moment of hesitation. "Miss Carter?" he asked, barely masking his surprise. "That's me," Olivia confirmed, extending a hand. Ryan hesitated for a beat before shaking it, his grip overly firm, as if to establish dominance. "I was expecting someone else." Olivia raised an eyebrow. "Were you?" Ryan forced a chuckle. "No offense, but we don't often see owners personally overseeing flights. Usually their assistants handle it." Olivia's eyes didn't waver. "Well, I like to be hands-on. Is there a problem?" Ryan shook his head, but Olivia noted the tightness in his jaw. "Not at all, ma'am. I'll conduct pre-flight checks." As he walked away, Olivia exhaled softly. She had seen that look before, the disbelief, the silent questioning of whether she belonged. But today, she had neither the time nor the patience for it. A moment later, she overheard hushed whispers behind her. "Are you sure that's the owner?" a younger attendant murmured to a colleague. "I mean, she doesn't look like the type." Olivia turned her head slightly, catching their reflection in the sleek glass wall beside her. The attendant quickly averted her gaze, but Olivia had already seen the uncertainty in her expression. She smoothed the lapel of her blazer and took a steadying breath. Moments like these were a dime a dozen. She had learned long ago that people struggled to reconcile their expectations with reality. A powerful woman, a black woman, commanding a space they didn't think she belonged in. It was a disruption to their neatly packaged worldview. A disruption she had no intention of apologizing for. Glancing down at her phone, she tapped out a quick message to her trusted advisor, Leonard Hayes. "Olivia, boarding soon. Pilot seems skeptical. Let's hope this doesn't turn into another situation." Leonard's reply was almost instant. "Leonard, if it does, you know how to handle it. Keep me posted." A slight smile tugged at Olivia's lips. Leonard always had a way of reminding her that she was more than capable of dealing with whatever obstacles came her way. Just then, an announcement crackled over the intercom. "Carter flight to London now boarding. Miss Carter, your jet is ready." Olivia picked up her leather carry-on and walked toward the gate with measured steps. As she approached the plane, she felt the weight of eyes on her, the subtle glances, the second-guessing. But she didn't falter. She never did. As Olivia ascended the steps leading to her jet, she noticed that Captain Ryan Tate was already at the top, his arms crossed over his chest, his expression unreadable. Something about the way he stood, rigid, unmoving, signaled to her that their interaction was far from over. "Miss Carter," he greeted stiffly as she reached the top step. "Before we proceed, I need to verify something with you." Olivia narrowed her eyes slightly, but kept her composure. "And what would that be, Captain?" Ryan shifted his stance. "There seems to be some confusion regarding ownership. It's not common for jet owners to fly alone without staff, and we—" Olivia cut him off, her voice sharp but controlled. "We? Who exactly is questioning my ownership, Captain?" Ryan hesitated, clearly aware that he had overstepped. "I just want to be thorough." Olivia let the silence stretch between them before speaking. "Thorough is ensuring a safe and efficient flight, not questioning the legitimacy of a paying client. Are you questioning whether I belong on my own aircraft?" Ryan's jaw tightened, but before he could respond, Olivia stepped past him and into the cabin. The interior was as immaculate as always, the buttery leather seats and polished mahogany accents a reflection of her exacting standards. She set her carry-on down and turned back to face him. "Let's be clear, Captain Tate," she said evenly. "I've worked too hard to be questioned by someone who was hired to get me from point A to point B. If there's a problem, say it outright. Otherwise, I expect professionalism." Ryan's face darkened, but he gave a curt nod. "Understood, ma'am. We'll be ready for takeoff shortly." As he disappeared into the cockpit, Olivia exhaled slowly. This wasn't new, but it was exhausting. She pulled out her phone and sent another message to Leonard. "Olivia, situation is escalating. He's questioning my ownership now." Leonard's response came immediately. "Leonard, want me to step in?" Olivia stared at the screen before typing back. "Olivia, not yet. But be ready." She sat back in her seat, watching the cockpit door. The flight hadn't even started, and she already knew. This battle was far from over. As boarding commenced, Olivia received an urgent message from Elite Aviation Services CEO. Subject: Urgent Flight Incident Report. Miss Carter, we received reports of an incident involving Captain Tate. Rest assured, this matter is being investigated, and we take such concerns seriously. Please inform us of any further issues. Michael Connors, CEO. Olivia smirked slightly. Justice, it seemed, moved quickly when power backed it. Moments later, a senior flight officer approached. "Ms. Carter, Captain Tate has been dismissed from this flight. A replacement is being arranged." Ryan's face turned pale. "What?" he sputtered. "You can't just—" "Actually, I can," Olivia interrupted. "You questioned my authority, undermined my credibility, and assumed my success was fraudulent. That's not just unprofessional. It's unacceptable." Ryan looked around for support, but no one stepped forward. His prejudice had cost him dearly. As Olivia ascended the jet's stairs, she felt the weight of history behind her, the generations of women, of black entrepreneurs, who had been underestimated and doubted. But she was not here for their approval. She was here to claim what was already hers. From the cockpit, her new pilot, Captain Avery Mitchell, gave her a respectful nod. "Welcome aboard, Ms. Carter. Ready for takeoff." Olivia settled into her seat, looking out over the runway. "Always." As the jet lifted into the sky, she let out a slow breath, knowing this was just one battle in a much larger war. But for today she had won. As Olivia's jet soared through the sky, she allowed herself a moment of reflection. This was not just about her, but about every person who had ever been made to feel unwelcome in spaces they had rightfully earned. The cabin was silent save for the soft hum of the engines, a soothing backdrop to her thoughts. She sipped from a crystal glass of sparkling water, glancing out the window as the world below shrank into a distant blur. The endless blue sky stretched out before her, a perfect metaphor for the possibilities she had fought so hard to claim. Her phone buzzed on the polished wooden table beside her. It was Leonard Hayes. "Heard about the incident. You all right?" "Handled it," Olivia replied, gazing at the endless sky. And hopefully it sends a message. That people like us belong wherever we work to be. Leonard said. Olivia smiled, though there was a weight behind it. Exactly. Leonard sighed. You shouldn't have to keep proving yourself. But knowing you, that pilot won't be the last to underestimate you. Maybe not, Olivia admitted, setting down her glass. But every time it happens I remind them, and myself, that I'm not asking for a place at the table. I built the damn table. Leonard chuckled. That you did. Safe flight, Olivia. She ended the call and leaned back in her seat, closing her eyes for a brief moment. The world had a long way to go, but she was carving out space for those who would follow. She thought of young women, especially young black women, watching her journey, seeing that it was possible to stand firm, to claim success unapologetically, to refuse to be sidelined. She picked up her tablet, reviewing her upcoming meetings in London. There was no time to dwell on the past when the future was calling. She had an empire to expand, and nothing, not assumptions, not prejudice, not outdated stereotypes, was going to stand in her way. As the flight attendant quietly approached to refresh her drink, Olivia offered a small nod of gratitude. The sky belonged to no one, and yet, it belonged to everyone willing to soar. Olivia's journey wasn't just about overcoming one pilot's prejudice. It was about breaking barriers for every person who had ever been underestimated. Her story serves as a reminder that success isn't about fitting into someone else's mold, but about defining your own path. The world may place obstacles in front of you, but you have the power to rise above them. The key lesson: confidence, resilience, and self-worth are non-negotiable. You don't need permission to take up space. If someone questions your right to be there, let your success be the answer. Because the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.